have to get something out of this, and I don't know what that even is.
Why is the government shut down? Important question, and we're all trying to get some answers. Joining me now is Congressman John Mica, Republican from Florida, who has voted repeatedly to delay or defund Obamacare in order to fund the government. Congressman, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for the invitation to come back, Al.
Now, help me out here. Help me understand the GOP position. Why is the government shut down right now?
Well, first of all, we have to fund the government for the whole year that we're in that started on the 1st of October. And we've had disagreements about the funding of various programs, including Obamacare. The problem is we have increased our deficit spending. The first year of the Obama administration, they spent $1.5 trillion more than we took in. We're now, within the next 2 weeks, about to have to raise the debt limit from $17 trillion to $18 trillion. And with that possibility of default, you have funding for this year. You have parts of Obamacare we'd like to see altered. And then you have the long-term indebtedness all colliding at this crossroads.
But you've got the deficit falling at a greater rate now than it has in decades. So the deficit rate is actually gotten a lot better. And
that's only happened, Al, since the Republicans gained control of one half of one-third of the government 2 years ago. The spending went unchecked for the first 4 years. When the Democrats controlled the House, the Senate, and the White House, it was the biggest increase in spending in the history of government.
Okay, but I guess when George Bush was going to control the White House and it blew out of proportion, you don't want to count that. But what does what does Obamacare have to do with the deficit? I mean, you could cut the deficit from anywhere. Specifically, you and your colleagues went after Obamacare. Why?
Well, first of all, let's go back to the deficit a second. When George Bush left and Obama took over, there was $9 billion in deficit. Most of Bush's deficit was spent when the country was attacked on September 11th and rebuilding our military, and also the decline in revenue. So that was $9 billion. We're at 17. We're going to 18. That's almost doubled. It will double in 5 years, going on 6 years of this administration.
Congressman, I could tell you
the you want me to answer the second part?
Yes, I would. You wanted to deviate. Bill Clinton left us with his plus, so you really don't want to talk about that.
No, that
go
was
ahead and answer the second part.
Wait, okay, Al. Let's go back to left us with a surplus. When he came in, the last shutdown was with Republicans, but he negotiated with Republicans. And yes, you had a Republican
He was negotiating
House
over
and Senate,
a budget, Congressman. He negotiated over, but there was not a law. You're taking a law. You're taking a law, not a budget.
We balanced the budget within 2 years by 97, right up until the terrorist attacks of 2002. So it was a Republican, and then that's a great example, a Republican House and Senate dealing with a Democrat president. I said I voted to impeach
Let me
Bill
ask you a question. You're very knowledgeable. You're very knowledgeable, Congressman. You're very knowledgeable.
He brings people down to the White House, and he refuses to negotiate.
Then let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When in the history of this country have we ever had a shutdown over a law?
We've had shutdowns over a law and spending. That's what I was here in '95. That's what that was
not
all
over
about,
a law. I said over a law. You repeated the question. Now answer.
How do you think we pass a? How do you pass?
When
funding government a law by
have we ever had a
The issue in '95, just as the issue is today, but it's much worse today. The issue was overspending.
No, the issue was not over a law.
Well,
this is over a law. It was said that you do not want to fund an existing law that was passed by the House and the Senate, that was upheld by the Supreme Court, that was central in the You cannot compare that to '95 or any other law.
And they told us we'll pass it, and then once it passes, you'll know what. Now we know what's in it. The president has actually changed the law.
Congressman,
He's changed the law about 17 times, some of those in contravention with the law that was passed. We've asked for some modifications. A lot of us didn't like it, but we've agreed to even compromise and give an exemption.
You don't have to compromise on the law.
They gave an exemption for businesses. They gave even the unions are crying for reform in this law that passed. So all we asked for was a little bit of a change as a compromise.
Is this a law or not? Is this a law?
It is a law, and Congress changes the law, and that's what we need to do.
Agreed to, we can have different opinions, we can have different facts. The fact is it's a law. Now, tell me when in the history of this country have we ever shut down the government over a law?
Well, there have been 17 instances in which we've
had
shutdowns.
And none of them over a law.
And they're always over a law because you have to pass a law to fund the government. It's a very basic part of our government.
No, that's a spending issue. That is not saying that we want to stop as we want to stop the Affordable Care Act.
We're also spending a record amount on the biggest government program ever instituted, which is Obamacare. And there's nothing wrong with helping people with health care. My family at times did not have health care. I think we should provide. I think there's some good things that we could keep, that we should keep. Pre-existing conditions. Some of the younger people, including them. We should do some of the exchanges, but open it up to competition. Look at the prices. People who don't have money can't afford getting on Obamacare. Just look it up.
Can I say this to you, Congressman? In all due respect, debate is over. They passed the law. You talking about what you would go with and not go with. You acting as if this is not the law. It is immaterial. What you think
and institute a responsible, accountable law, both for health care and also in funding the government in each and every program.
What stops you from doing that to any law? Why don't you just say, we're going to take this like the fact it was passed, and we're going to decide, even though we lost it, we're going to decide that we're going to play with that.
We change the law every day. That's what this is about.
You change laws. You don't defund laws.
And circumstances change. Why did the president change it 17 times? He signed 7 bills already to change Obamacare. The Democrats themselves said it was a train wreck, and you see it wrecking now.
Let's talk like we're both mature men.
Work together.
No. We can work together.
We can work together.
The fact of the matter is, you change
you
laws
can't go play golf on Saturday, not show up for work on Sunday. The Senate didn't come back until Monday at 2 o'clock. Wouldn't you like a job like that, Al, or your listeners?
Well, you don't want to talk about that. But let me get one thing clear. You change laws by proposing changes, and you vote, and you get it passed, and the president signs it. You do not change laws by defunding, by taking a minority of the House and blocking funding on a law. 1, 2, 3 times. We sent over compromises. Have you proposed a health care law?
Let's sit down.
Have you proposed a health care law that has passed the House?
To try to keep this thing moving. But when they won't negotiate, when they won't come to work, you know, the president, someone just told me, has done 146 days of golf game, 8 days during 8 years. He needs less golf, more work.
Congressman, again,
and negotiate. Just don't bring people coffee to the White House. Let's have discussion,
Bush had 879 days of vacation. Wait a minute.
I voted to impeach. Talk to me, work with me as Republicans.
You're not going to do this show. Bush had 879 days of vacation and just said that President Obama should take more days of golfing. You like to overtalk the runway and distract. Let me bring you to your district. Let's go back to your district. Let's go to your you go back to facts, all right. The fact is George Bush had 879 days of vacation and just said the president ought to play more golf. And he did not. The president, on no days they were playing golf, was the government shut down over something that was already passed. That's a fact. Let me give you some more facts. Here's a local news report on the shutdown affecting preschoolers in your home district. You like facts? This is your home district. Watch this.
Go ahead.
If lawmakers in Washington don't act soon, hundreds of Central Florida preschoolers will pay the price.
Destiny is one of those 3-year-olds who loves to learn.
What's that you're making?
Cookies.
Cookies.
But because our leaders in Washington dragged their feet and shut down the government, Destiny's Head Start School could shut down too. The Head Start program in Volusia County provides services for 625 children and their families.
They still have a job, but come Friday, our teachers will be out of a job. Our students will be out of a place to learn.
What do you say to the parents of those preschoolers, Congressman, in your district?
Well, first of all, we have some good preschool programs. Some of Head Start is excellent, and some of it needs to be continued. A lot of it needs to be shut down and privatized. Kids, particularly from the minorities, are not given the opportunity, and their performance levels are not high enough. I've worked to try to get people with the highest level of degrees to work with our kids that have the highest level of problems and come from the most disadvantaged homes. So I know Volusia County Head Start programs, the good ones and the bad ones. For half the money, we could put them in private cement schools. For the $9,200 we're spending on a Head Start student, I could send them to the very best private institutions in Central Florida, and they come out much better. And that's one of the things you, as an African-American leader, should be promoting is improving the educational opportunities for our minorities who are getting shafted by these government programs. Come on, Al, get with it.
Congressman, are you in denial? You've shut the government down. You are talking like the government is up. You're talking about what you would do or not do. You've shut the government down.
No. Al, we just finished voting a few minutes ago to keep
Congressman
essential
John
things
Mica,
open.
thank you for your time tonight. I mean, you're in denial. You're in denial. You shut the government down.
Open that up is sitting
We'll be
in the
right
Senate
back.
right now.
We'll be
The
right
House
back.
passed it. Thanks, Al. Good to be with you.